time. Councilman Lutz.
I have a couple of things I just wanted to bring up. And it's, I don't know about you people, I mean councilwomen and councilmen. I'm getting sick and tired of watching TV and to find out we as council are getting sued. I mean, it's continuous. It's continuous. And number one, I think it's ridiculous. And I made my speech last council meeting, and I said we got to knock this stuff off and make it better. And I can't see how any development people can come into the town of Phillipsburg with everybody seeing what's going on TV. I mean, it's really, really ridiculous. I like the Oprah on March 26th. If you don't mind, I'd like to have Vicki Oprah, the letter that the mayor sent out on March 26, 2018 to Timothy Cunningham, Department of Community Affairs. He wrote a 3-page letter stating what's going on in town, and the council will not work with them, and even the attorney won't work with them. I'd like to know, if you don't mind, if we can get to see if there's a reply on that. And I'd like to have another Oprah done on, we had the AG's office, the Attorney General's office come in and investigate the council for budget, see if I got it right, for budget items, us interfering with budget items and bidding process. I'd like to know if the mayor got any response from the AG's office. And the thing that really, really super bothers me is when, I don't care if the mayor's here or not, when he can sit and people stand up there, and if you watch the camera, he makes faces at them. Yep.
Of course.
I mean, that is the most inconsiderate that you can ever do to a town of Phillipsburg. Anywhere. You're a mayor, you're supposed to take it. Look straight, smile, or do whatever. Not make faces. I mean, it's sad. It's very sad. I mean, I spent all my life in town of Phillipsburg, and it is very sad. That's all I have. Thank you.
One side or the other.
Thank you, Councilman Lutz. Council Vice President DiGirolamo, is there anything you have?
I'll echo some of what Councilman Lutz just said, only to the comment, initially, so, wow, we're on month 9. Some stuff happened pretty early on, and everybody said to us, why can't we do this? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do this? And we found out the only way we could have things be done was to sue the mayor. And we sat back and said, yeah, not going to happen. That's not going to look good for the town. It's not the right thing to do. Just sit tight, get beat up on. We didn't take this office thinking everybody was going to smile at us and wave while we went by. We get fan mail every week. We found it was inappropriate to do. Is there action council can take? Absolutely. It involves suing the mayor. Are we doing that? We're not. And that's the stance I personally took and did not want to support. Are we sitting here, now that Mark brought, I wasn't going to bring anything up, I was actually pretty good, but since Mark said it, I will echo. We sat back and just got our heads kicked in on a lot of that stuff and chosen to take the high road because we thought it was the right thing to do, as opposed to the low road, which is sue, 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 sue. Because you know what? I pay for that, he pays for that, all of you pay for that. We're not wasting your money by fighting. That's a decision, I think, I don't know anybody that chose that mode because you didn't hear a vote come up to do it. Council President was even one of them that had an initial thought and stepped back from it and said, you know what, I rethought it and it wasn't the right thing to do. I think we're trying. It's just not happening both ways, I'm sad to say. All I can say is we come every week, we come to every meeting, we're smiling. We, as a council, are very cooperative with each other. Councilman Davis and I were together last week. Councilman Lutz and I are getting together on a board. We're all working together. You're not seeing our names in the paper suing the town. That's all I have to say.
Councilman Davis.
Oh.
It was Josh.
Sorry. I just turned it on. Yeah, just briefly, I know there's a lot of different thoughts about the redevelopment plan. I am a staunch advocate for it. I'm not prepared to discuss it tonight, but I look forward to bringing just how different Phillipsburg is from other communities that are profiting from similar redevelopment goals. And I hope that when I juxtapose just how different the slices of pie that we're getting, that I can sway some of you who might be against what we're considering right now when we look at those statistics and look at the flow of capital. So I hope you guys will listen with open ears when we bring the redevelopment plan forward. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman McVeigh.
In fairness to the mayor, I did have a lot. I was hoping to be here tonight, so I will minimize what I have. I'll start with Councilman Lutz, what he was saying. I agree. I'm the one WFMZ's calling all the time, so I really want, I can't get out of town for a day. It's fine. We have a good rapport. Try to keep it respectful as possible, but yes, and what the Council Vice President was saying, we smile, we come here, we're a good working council. I think the meetings are good. I mean, it feels a little odd to me when people say, you got to put politics aside and the bickering. I turned to Councilman Davis about a half hour ago. I said, I think we're having a pretty good meeting. I'm really not sure. Just because we disagree, or the votes start on 5-0 every time, or it's against the mayors, and I'll get into the vetoes in a second, doesn't mean we're bickering or we're politics aside. It's what we do. We're the legislative branch. It's what we do. Two things I'm going to touch on now. On August 22nd, the Phillipsburg recall, Take Two mayor blames the mercenaries. And later on in that article, it was used the word cult. As a member, and I will wait till he comes here to let him explain himself, but I cannot go to sleep tonight without saying, as a member of mayor and council, as we are budgeted for now, please let me apologize for those words coming out of his mouth, because there's not a citizen here that should be called a cult or a mercenary member. Let's start with that. Secondly, we have voted on our 7th veto this evening in 8 months. It would have been 8, but it was explained to the mayor that the budget is a resolution and not an ordinance, so we couldn't veto that. That's a veto every 34 days. That money's going, if I'm not mistaken, Vicki, that's going to the, as by law, you have has to go out to the papers and stuff. That is a massive amount of money getting generated for regurgitating these ordinances that we have to do.
Wow.
Just keep that food for thought. It was, again, I can go down this road a little bit deeper, but I'm just going to leave it at that until the mayor's here, and I'll speak with him personally on some of the things I've heard prior to swearing in office on how he was going to handle our ordinances. And it just shows to me the proof's in the pudding a little bit. Every 34 days we're facing a veto. I did ask Vicki earlier today to try to give me an accurate or an approximate number of vetoes that the previous mayor did in a 4-year period. Now we're only at a two, almost 3. The answer was, I thought it was 2. The answer was 0, and the 0 was, I believe, approximately for the 16-year term. And we are on a pace for every 34 days. So we are trying to work with that. We will continue to do this process. Again, I wish we would speak together with the mayor and our preferably with council president, instead of just getting a random call from WFMZ people or Express people saying, hey, we received this press release from the mayor's office, and what's your response to this? And we're like, So the phone will start ringing. I hope you had a good Labor Day. Try to please everybody stay safe. Watch, especially watch our elderly in the heat. It is oppressive out there. Be careful and try to stay cool the next couple days till this weather breaks. Thank you very much for coming.
So, I agree to a certain extent with regard to the bickering. However, I'm not sure that we're seeing the whole story because, as Councilman McVeigh and others have stated this evening, this council gets along fairly well. And I say that, and we work bipartisanly, across lines. Yeah, we do have an issue with regard to the mayor recognizing the legislative authority and the administrative branch of government. I do think that there is some type of resolve down the road. But the bickering doesn't stop or start here. Because, you know, I can't even go on Facebook. And I used to go on Facebook because I used to like to see the positive, right? My friends who I grew up with have kids, they're out playing. I like to see the good stuff. But man, you think we're ugly? Have you read what you guys are all saying out there? Because it's horrible. If someone supports myself, if someone supports Councilman Davis or Councilman McVeigh, I mean, they're attacked. And it's really disheartening. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that the mayor is not attacked. However, if you've read my Facebook posts, I read yours all the time, and mostly about track or send your kids off to college. I never want to have to do that. Same thing with Councilman Bay, Councilman Davis. I don't think you post on Facebook, but we try and lead by example, right? So I like to promote the positive. I don't like to invite the negative. But man, I go on, and I'm not one for airing our dirty laundry. So I personally asked it a few times, and I believe he's starting to get better. But I really think we need to reel it in. And the public, the general public, I don't think I could say it any better when, just keep your mouth shut. I don't know how else to say it because, you know, the mayor has kids, Councilman Davis has kids, I have kids, and you have kids. Your kids are reading this stuff. It's just disheartening. You know, I can't go on there without being called. I've been called all kinds of things. I mean, again, I'm a married man with 4 kids. I get called names every day. But these are people who don't even know us, and they're passing judgment. You have no idea what we go through day in and day out, and if you think that we just sit up here once a week or once every 2 weeks and just make decisions cold-heartedly without thinking of you, Oprah all of my email, all of theirs.
Please don't.
You know, it's a full-time job, and I'm happy to do it because I'm happy to represent you. I ran twice and I lost. I ran a third time and I lost to Councilman Davis. No, I'm just teasing. But I didn't run to win and do nothing. I ran to win and represent you. And listen, we may not always agree, but I can assure you that even if you dislike me, you can call me, make a report, and I will act on it. Why? Because I represent you. For whatever reason, I'm called all kinds of names, as are my colleagues. And I don't like it, whether they're Democrat or Republican. So I ask you to take it home and call your friends and family and just tell them, stop. Because it really, really it takes its toll. My daughter read something, I was a little upset that she had to read it. Thankfully, they have my sense of humor and she can laugh it off. Outside of that, outside of the bickering and the personal issues, I did ask Attorney Wenner to draft a letter for Aqua to appear before the next council meeting.